everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Book in the Territory Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of our Smoky Mountain Rasslin Podcast. This is Smoky Mountain Rasslin, episode 164, March 18th, 1995. And this is Book in the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today I'm once again sitting here with Doc and not Hard Body Harper. And if you're, again, wondering why Harper's not with us, I kind of explained it at the beginning, the very, very beginning of last week's episode. So we appreciate your compassion and understanding what's going on. But Doc, we are in a new location. I beg and plead for you not to get into demographics, only because we've done this in Council a number of times. But we're in Council, Virginia, 425 people in attendance, if you believe the internet. This is taping number 1 from Council, Virginia. How are you this morning, man? I mean, we just talked for an hour, but how you doing?
So poor white people live there. We know that. Once again, as we said last week, we miss Harper. It's a better show when he's here. We know that. And we're coming off a high from last week. We got a new champ, our friend. And this week we're going to have a mystery partner, the mystery partner revealed, and that's going to pay off. I don't want to just use it lightly, but I have a feeling that it would be okay to say we're blessed and ready to be a blessing here, right?
I 100% agree, man. We had last week's episode was good. I want to remind everyone that Cornette said in the middle of last week's episode that there was a surprise, an announcement that he had to make, and well, let's just say he ain't lying. The surprise.
Boy, he ain't. He's talking about one of the all-time greats. But, man, I'm just thinking about this song right here. I'm a hillbilly.
Jesus Christ, this song is just, whoa.
It is the drizzling shits.
Let me start the Patreon video. We'll get into this thing. So, first off, shout out to Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Kyle Riley, Mike Childry, our largest Patreon contributors monthly. Thank you for your generous support. And then I did this last week, and I'll do it again. Don't forget, if you're not a patron, no worries, but please use our Amazon referral link if you shop on Amazon, because it is a great way to support this show on an ongoing basis. And that's tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Give that link to the wives, girlfriends, hoes, and side pieces in your life and tell them to use it each and every time they use Amazon. Thank you very much. Again, taping number 1, we're in Council, Virginia, drawing 425 people. Jose Corona, I know you love the demographics. There's another reason why we're not doing demographics today is because Doc and I are in a time pinch as well.
We are, but let me do a different kind of demographics. Can you roll back to the crowd for just a second? And this isn't going to be as bad as you think, so don't worry.
All right. I know what you're going to say. I already know. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're coming through the end of the song. I can't hear it, but I'm just thinking about all the hot jams that I could get if I could just hear the Clintons rocking about Smoky Mountain. If you're watching the Patron video, we're doing this again. I'm not going to say it till I see him.
Are you talking about the kid with the Houston Rockets gear on?
No, not at all.
Oh, you're not?
Okay. That was a thing back then. But look at that. There's a kid in the Houston Rockets, but there's a kid, and then we're gonna look at those. Those are some young people.
A lot of white people.
Well, yeah, but my whole thing is lots of kids in that audience, and I know WWE has kind of a stranglehold on the kids thing here. But I was just thinking, one of these new upstart companies that's got all this capital behind them and all this TV ought to try to capture some of the kid market. That would be a strategy that they could use to try to capture some market share via their digital platforms.
Well, yeah, but the whole kid thing is a gray area because I mean, like, there's a lot of kids in this audience, but this isn't definitely Smoky Mountain isn't a PG product.
My point is, you go to Ring of Honor and it's all a bunch of young and I'm being honest here, boys, it's a young male dominated. And you watch Crockett and there's a bunch of hoes, and you watch Smoky Mountain and there's a bunch of kids. We need to get the hoes and the kids back to the wrestling.
I think a perfect mix is you want some old people, you want some kids, you want some adults, and some hot bras. If you can find that balance in any wrestling arena, that's
6 to 60, blind, crippled, or crazy.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Les Thatcher and Jim, as they open the show, tell us that Bobby Blaze, the new Smoky Mountain Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, will be here this week, and Les will also be interviewing the Gangstas. We go to the first match. It is the Wolfman versus Buddy Landell, and Buddy wins a quick match with a corkscrew elbow, and then the figure 4 on the Wolfman. How the Wolfman? Doc, your any thoughts on the Wolfman and Budrow?
This building looks terrible on TV for some reason. I don't like it. These two are real life buddies,
traveling partners.
I need Harper here because to me, so patrons, tell Lance what you think. But I think Buddy's like mashup for Ric Flair's music sounds like the Allman Brothers doing Flair's music. And I'm just wondering, is Wolfman supposed to be the babyface here?
I have no clue, but what do you think the Wolfman's loincloth smells like?
Weed and ball sweat.
Yeah, I bet you that shit reeks of piss and fucking yeast infections.
Jesus.
That shit just looks like it stinks, man. Anyway.
What's wrong with you?
Okay. I mean, just think of the Ham Wallace that guy gets a piece of. Oh, God.
That's
boy,
more like
those hogs look pretty bad, man.
That's a pretty big wallet, I would imagine.
I'd say so. A pretty big wallet with some fat laced around it. Anyway, okay. So Buddy wins, obviously. Buddy's the number one contender for the title right now. So he's not going to lose a match. Let's be real here at this point. Because they got to keep him strong for what's going on with maybe him and Bobby. Now, I'm going to throw it to a promo with Jim Cornette and Tracy Smothers. And bear with this promo for a little bit. Because it starts off a little slow, but Cornette is about to make you pop as he makes a huge announcement. So again, it starts off slow, but here it is.
Everybody to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, thanks again for being with us here with James E. Cornette, the wild-eyed Southern boy Tracy Smothers, conspicuous by his absence as the Commissioner Bob Armstrong. But what a weekend this is going to be for you guys.
You know, I wanted to see Bob Armstrong out here face-to-face, and I think he's got some kind of Smoky Mountain Wrestling business he's doing or something. But Tracy Smothers, I want to know if you would like to listen to the continuation of my proposal that I made last week.
Well, wait a minute. Listen, Jimmy. He does have some business, Smoky Mountain Wrestling business. But I think I can speak for Bob on this case right here. Now, Bob helped you out before because it was right. There's been a lot of bad blood between the Armstrong family, myself, and you. So I think I can speak for Bob in the fact we've never had a manager, we never wanted a manager, and we don't think we need a manager right now. We think we can handle this situation on our own.
I thought you were going to say something like that, and yeah, and that's an admirable point of view, but you got to realize when you're dealing with the Gangstas, you're dealing with more than just two guys. You got D-Lo running around, whoever knows who else is associated with them. I took it upon myself, I took the liberty, I have arranged for a little match to come up here at the Bluegrass Brawl. Yeah, I've arranged for a little match. You see, it's easy to get these matches when you don't have the commissioner trying to stop you all the time. I have signed already for a match, a 6-man tag match, with the Gangstas and D'Lo Brown to take on you, Bullet Bob Armstrong, and the mystery man that I want to bring in. And there's a special stipulation, Tracy. If the Gangstas lose that 6-man tag at the Bluegrass Brawl, then they have to stand in the middle of the ring, and they got to salute the rebel flag, just like that. But, of course, you give something, you got to get something. If you guys lose, and my mystery man, then you got to stand in the middle of the ring, and you got to salute the gangsta flag right there in Pikeville.
What? Listen, Cornette, Who are you, God, man? You ain't got any business out here signing any matches for Bob Armstrong and myself. We don't even know who the mystery partner is, man. You ain't got any business doing that at all.
Trace, now hold on. Take your blood pressure medicine, man, because you're getting a little too excited. Let me explain to you.
Especially when Bob's not here.
Let me explain to you and to everybody who the partner is. Who the partner is. You see, the gangsters have been going around saying that they aren't scared of anybody. Well, there's one man in the world of wrestling that scares everybody that he comes in contact with. And the gangsters have been going around saying they're going to bury everybody under that gangsta flag. Well, there's one man in the world of wrestling that buries people better than anybody else. The partner for you and Bullet Bob Armstrong to face the gangsters at the Bluegrass Brawl, thanks to me, is going to be The Undertaker. What?
God,
are you kidding me? That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. And if you don't believe me, I got some proof right here. I want to show everybody, especially the gangsters, the horrifying sight that I beheld at the Survivor Series in Texas last November when The Undertaker came to the ring. And then I've got a videotape rolling in the truck from The Undertaker and Paul Bearer himself talking about this very situation. Roll that tape.
Yeah, I can't add nothing to it. I mean, you heard the name.
Damn.
Doc, what do you have?
Damn. Well, once again, we're going to hear Vince and Gorilla on Smoky Mountain TV. And Undertaker's entrance, which is iconic. This is all big, dude. This is huge. I mean, there are people, and lots of them, that put The Undertaker on the Mount Rushmore of either wrestlers, characters, gimmicks, money drawers, whatever. He's in the discussion. And so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that makes him the biggest name coming in so far.
Oh, I think he's the biggest name.
I mean, we've had Randy Savage, but I'm going to put Undertaker above him.
See, here's the thing that's, if you ask that question in 1995, it's maybe more debatable because
Sure.
you'd be like, well, hell, Arn and Savage came in. I mean, but
the passage of time, we're all probably going to agree that it's The Undertaker, and this is huge. I mean, look, it got Tracy to change his mind. Now, let me ask you this. How much money would we have to raise through the Patron page for you to video yourself saluting a rebel flag?
No, I'm not saluting a rebel flag. Sometimes.
Why not? Why not? It's a symbol of heritage.
Sometimes there's principles. No, I don't know, man. That's one of those questions like I saw on Twitter yesterday. Or like, people get fake outrage about. Remember the discussion we had about somebody was like, well, if somebody give you $1 million, would you wear a Falcons jersey? Are you fucking kidding me? Hell yeah, I would. $1 million. And then I love the responses to I'm not going to say who on Twitter, but there's a few idiots out there like, oh, there's principles involved. Principles? Bitch, I would be completely out of debt and then some. I would have no house payment. I mean,
would I throw? So anyway, and people can't draw lines on this stuff. Would I throw my kid in front of a moving car for $1 million? No. Would I put on a shirt of another football team for $1 million? You're damn right I would.
Yeah, because I'm not fucking stupid. I'm like, have a fucking brain. But
okay,
anyway.
so let's don't get off on that. So, dude, did you hear the pop when he said The Undertaker? The people responded too. I mean, it's 95, and I know The Undertaker is probably, 5 years into that run, but it's already off and popping. And even the people in this little holler here have heard of the Undertaker, and this is big news, dude. And, it automatically starts you thinking, well, last week New Jack said he wasn't concerned. What's he got to say? How are they going to respond? I mean, this just sets off a whole, what's it going to look like? I mean, to me, this is the kind of stuff when I was a kid that I lived for. What's it going to look like to have the Undertaker come down to our town? He hadn't been here. And what's that going to do to the gangsters? Nobody's really been able to scare them. what's that going to do? And Corny found the one guy that could get BA and Tracy to play ball with him. And so Corny's delivered on his promises. So there's just a lot of stuff going on here that I think is just the basic ingredients of why I like wrestling.
I would agree, and I want to remind you that the stipulation is if the Gangsters lose the 6-man match against the Southern Boys and Taker, the Gangsters have to salute the Rebel flag, but if the Southern Boys lose, the Southern Boys have to salute the Gangster flag. But anyway,
there's a personal issue. There's Hall of Famers. There's stips. There's shit on the line. Everybody in this is good at their jobs. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. And with that news, we then go to Paul Bearer cutting a promo on Smoky Mountain TV. Here it is.
I can't do it, Paul Bearer.
Under normal circumstances, my Undertaker wouldn't do any favors at all for James E. Cornette. But Mr. Cornette was the messenger. He informed us that justice need to be served, and my Undertaker stands for justice, so he's coming there to team with Bullet Bob Armstrong and Tracy's mother.
The Gangsters. You say that you fear no one. You haven't looked into the eyes of fear. You haven't looked into the soul of darkness. You've ranted and you've raved. And you've taken drastic actions. Well, now it comes time for you to be held accountable for these actions. Those mock burials that you try and perform. You drape a flag over someone. Believe me, gangsters, that's not a burial. But when the Undertaker and Paul Bearer come to the Smoky Mountain Wrestling, we will show you how to bury someone. It won't be under a flag, but it'll be under 6 foot of hard ground. And the darkness, good God, the God of darkness will consume you and leave you in eternal purgatory.
Well, Tracy.
Doc, should I let it keep rolling into the some others in Cornette portion?
No, because it's just, that got Tracy's attention. Tracy's like, hell yeah, dude, let's go. And BA said that last week. BA said, hey, if you can deliver and we like it, we'll let you tag along. So that's a deal. But if you go back to, I mean, how surreal is it to have not Percy Pringle, who you could see doing this, but Paul Bearer and the damn Undertaker, not Mark Callis, in full character, mentioning the Gangsters. Legit. I mean, that's legitimacy, right? That's big time.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, to me, it was always like, okay, so we're down here in Smoky Mountain doing our thing, but when the Undertaker says, the Gangsters, you've been doing your mock burials, it's like the Undertaker's got his eye on you. He's not, he knows what you're doing. Holy shit. That must mean what we're doing is important.
I mean, the thing about all this is we joke and we talk a lot about, I don't want to say we joke, but the thing is, this is the middle of the wrestling recession. And I mean, there's really only a couple of companies left, and WWF and WCW are the two big ones. And I think Corny gets beat up unfairly about, Smokey not making it, per se. And I think that's unfair to him. And I'm saying that to say, you get a guy like The Undertaker comes in, he's a big star. I mean, man, The Undertaker on Smoky Mountain TV, that kind of legitimizes your product. And I think his product was already legit. But it just means something to say, like, God, this is the Undertaker is on Smoky Mountain Wrestling television.
And he's gonna come down and climb in the ring and help out.
Yeah.
What we're doing down here is important enough for him to take time out of his busy WWE schedule and come lend a hand. So the shit must be serious.
Now, there's some wrestling journalists out there, and I've read the articles that
I have to.
They are like, oh, well, did it really help Smokey?
But you said it a minute ago. That same thing used to be done in the old days, but it was just lateral trades with the territories moving people around. Corny doesn't have as many bullpens to go reach into, so he knows that he's got to keep things fresh and surprise people, but he's only got one real avenue, and guess what? He used the hell out of it.
And that's my argument for people that say that.
I mean, you're applying an apples to, not you, but like people who say that to me or people who say that to me, it's always you're applying apples to oranges because Corny was trying to respond to what he had available at the time he had it available.
Well, I'll say it. I mean, I've heard Wade Keller say it. I've heard him say it.
And you know what? I like Wade Keller's stuff. We can agree to disagree. I'm not saying he's dumb or he's stupid or how could he dare. Just he has a different opinion on this than we do, and that's perfectly okay. It's okay to disagree.
I agree. I just think in this instance he's wrong. Bruce Mitchell has said the same thing. I believe and I just think they're wrong. I think they're wrong when they say, "Well, did it really help Smokey? It hurt them because then."
What are you supposed to do? Do nothing? That's my point.
That's what I'm saying. And another thing too is the Undertaker ain't going to fucking Shitstown, USA, and working for no fucking body that got 20 people in the building. So don't say, "Oh, it doesn't work." Look. The argument they'll use is, well, it really didn't make the stars of Smoky Mountain any bigger. Once again, we're in the middle of a wrestling recession. It's not that fucking black and white. It's not that simple.
That and the gangsters end up leaving, not just now, but they kind of, I mean, that caused some hard feelings there when they left Corny to go to ECW. So, did these people stick around to get? My argument is bring him in. I think it's great. My problem is that it wasn't that Macho Man came in. It's that Bedlam's the one that got the rub. I think it's the wrong guy, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to that because Bedlam, God, he didn't even last a year, huh?
I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about him. The Undertaker's here. This is hot, pal. And, I really want to see, and I think it's going to happen later here in this episode. Well, it got Tracy's attention. It's going to get Bob's attention. What did it do for New Jack?
Well, and before we find out what it did for New Jack, let's hear Jim Cornette and Tracy. This comes on the heels and right after Paul Bearer and Undertaker speak. Here it is.
I hate to admit this, but I think he's made a pretty good deal here. Cornette, now look at me. Look right into my eyes. You're telling me that you can deliver to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, to Bob Armstrong and myself at the Bluegrass Brawl, the Undertaker.
He's coming. You just heard him, and he's going to be there, and he's going to be your partner.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I think I can speak for Bob Armstrong and myself on this, and when I tell him this, I think he's going to be tickled pink. Matter of fact, I may just give him a call right now, but you better come through with your promise.
From this point on, because of this, I can be in your corner, right?
Okay, yeah, you can be in our corner from now on. If you can get the Undertaker here, you can go to the grocery store. You can go anywhere with us, okay?
You got it, baby. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And let me just say one more thing to the gangsters. When Jim Cornette wants to get even with somebody, brother, he does it. And if I've been able to talk Bob Armstrong and Tracy Smothers into letting me be their manager, when the Undertaker comes, there ain't gonna be no stopping us. Bluegrass Brawl, Pikeville, Kentucky, Friday night, April the 7th. Gangsters, I don't know whether you got souls or not, but I guarantee you if you do, the Reaper's coming to collect them. But apart from your souls, once he takes those, Bob Armstrong, Tracy Smothers, and Jim Cornette is coming for your ass.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you're here at the Undertaker, the Bluegrass Ball. We'll be right back. Don't you go away.
All right, so there you go. Corny and Tracy after the Undertaker speaks and Paul Bearer speaks, and Tracy's tells Cornette if he can definitely get the Undertaker, then then he can definitely be in their corner. All right, what you got, Doc?
Nothing, man. It's awesome. I told you I didn't have anything else a minute ago, and you still played the damn promo, but I love it.
All right, well,
we got to get down there to the Bluegrass Brawl, man. Maybe the Clintons will put on a concert after the show.
Oh, God. Mike Sampson is about to go in there and take on the new Smoky Mountain Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Bobby Blaze, and Bobby comes out to Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down.
Look at you. That's a phenomenal song. And, I don't know that I've ever met anybody that has uttered the words, I don't like Tom Petty. So if you don't like Tom Petty, I want you to let Lance at SMU Heavyweight know that you don't like Tom Petty. But I think that's going to be kind of small because I think everybody can have some appreciation for him. Anyway, we haven't seen Samson in a long while.
Who's Tom Petty?
And, what?
Nothing, I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I know. And then at the end of the match for the win, we get a bridge from Bobby, and I just thought, man, if Tim was in the back, can you imagine him like kicking over a trash can and like throwing a towel on the ground because somebody else was using the bridge? Buddy, hey Bobby, can you come over here for a second, there, brother? I pride myself on the bridge. I do the bridges around here, all right?
Well, it was a Northern Lights suplex bridge, so I don't know.
But I do the bridges, okay? That's all I'm saying is that's kind of my thing, and I like to keep it my thing because it's like it's how I connect with the fans. That in the lightning bolts, okay? You got me? I mean, I don't want to stop you. I'm real proud of you. I'm happy for your success. I just, the bridge is my thing, okay?
All right.
Have you ever heard anything like that in the back? Something like that?
Not like that, but I've heard guys like talking about what their finisher is going to be, and they're like, look, we're going to do this for the finish, and another guy's like, oh, okay, y'all already doing that, so I guess we got to do something else. But not where don't use my move type shit. No.
Okay.
We get a replay after Bobby Blaze successfully defends his Smoky Mountain title against Mike Sampson. We go to a replay of Bobby Blaze defeating Jerry Lawler for the Smoky Mountain title. Good stuff. I mean, we talked about it in great detail last week, and if you haven't listened to the interview with Bobby, which was on last week's Smoky Mountain show, I would advise you download it because it is at the end of last week's episode that we discuss it. Or I'm sorry, that Bobby joins the show and discusses him winning the title and how it all went down and all that good stuff. Right after that, we go to Bobby Blaze, who's cutting a promo after his match. He's up there with Jim Ross, and then Budrow does a run-in. And let's give this a listen. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, just exactly how it happened in Knoxville. What a great Sunday afternoon. I got to think you're still on Cloud 9.
Cloud 9 don't even describe how I feel. This is great. My wife just gave birth to a new baby boy. Hey, Drake, and I'm the Smoky Mountain Heavyweight Champion. You know, the Lord really does work in mysterious ways. And I can't say that I'm happy because I'm elated. I'm more than happy.
Well, I know all your hometown fans in Ashland, Kentucky got to be happy. Well, we're going to be joined here, it looks like, by Nature Boy Buddy Landell. I didn't know you were scheduled to be out here, buddy.
You know, Bobby, I can appreciate your enthusiasm. At one time, I was a young wrestler myself, not like you. But you got a lot on your mind. See, you're from Ashland, Kentucky. And you're probably busy with a lot of farming and pitching hay and all of that. And, you know, your wife just had a new baby, and I'm sure you're going to be looking for who the real daddy is.
Hey, buddy, come on. That's not necessary.
All right, okay.
That's nice.
But, Bobby, seeing as how you won that belt, you cheated to get it from me, all right? So what I'm going to do, so I hadn't got to soil my hands on you again, kicking your teeth out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do you a favor. See, being from Ashland, Kentucky, I'm sure you don't know what this right here is currency, U.S. currency. This is money. Get a tight shot. This $500 right here, Bobby. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't have to get up in the ring and kick your teeth out, I'm going to offer you this $500 so your wife can eat something else besides hamburger helper. You ain't got to use your food stamps no more. And you take this $500, and what I want you to do in return is to lay that belt down and excuse yourself and go find the daddy of your baby so you can get a little bit of extra money. What?
That's not called for. Show a little class, will
you? Do yourself a favor, take the $500 and scoot. Excuse yourself.
No way, Landell. Let me tell you something. That is a lot of money, and I could use it. But I'm not going to give you or anyone else something I worked so hard for. Right now, I tell you, I'll challenge you. If you got some more money or anything else, I'll challenge you anytime. You can challenge for this belt. I'll wrestle you for it, but I'm not giving you anything.
So you want to wrestle me right now for that belt, right? You want to wrestle me right now?
I'll wrestle anytime. It can be now or anytime. Hey, I'll wrestle him right now.
Well,
that's fine. Here's the belt right here.
Hey, come on, Buddy. Landell, there's no reason for that.
God, come on.
Come on. Let's get a little... That's totally uncalled for. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to get this back together. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. We'll be right back. Don't you go away. Welcome.
Okay, your thoughts on what went down there, Doc, in Buddy's promo. Holy shit.
Well, I'm just gonna say this again. This is a really good feud because Bobby is a believable all shucks kind of guy, and he's elated and over the moon, and the Lord works in mysterious ways, and he's just laying it on thick. And he's an achy breaky champion from farming Ashland and all that. And then out strolls Buddy. And Buddy is just being cruel and saying, I'm sure you're going to be looking for the real daddy and you're from Ashland. And he's just, the $500 would mean something to you. And I just wondered, my only small nit about this is Bobby's the champ. So I didn't like him saying, yeah, I could use $500. I think he should, but that's a small nit. And then Buddy jumped him and got some, stiff looking looks in. I thought this was all really, really good. I like this a lot.
That was foul.
That was foul.
He told Bobby, wait till you find out who the real daddy is. He offered him $500 to leave and go give up the belt to go find the real daddy of his wife's baby. I was like, damn, that's messed up.
That's ruthless.
And, I don't think it hurt Bobby, but it looked real good. Budrow took that belt and popped Bobby across the back and almost the back of the head with the belt and looked like a pretty good shot. I don't think it hurt Bobby at all, but it had a good look to it. Anyway, good stuff as they continue to further the angle, though. I will say that.
Absolutely, man. This is a fresh new angle that we haven't seen, and I like it.
So we know New Jack is not scared of anything, and he's never afraid to run his lips. And
only thing New Jack's scared of is sickle cell.
You're an asshole. So let's go to the gangsters in New Jack right here. Remember, they've just heard the news about The Undertaker. Here it is.
Welcome to the confrontation segment of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And joining me are the gangsters. Gentlemen, it was pure speculation until just earlier in this program as to who the third man on the Armstrong Brothers team was. And it happens to be 6'10.5", 325-pound Undertaker.
I know who it is.
Is he not one of the
I know who it is.
Does he not have a high threshold of pain?
Ever since we came to Smoky Mountain, y'all been trying your best to get us out of here. You done put everybody in the ring you can think of. And now, of all people, The Undertaker, how do you kill somebody that's already dead? You don't. And now I'm going to tell you something. I'm not doing it. If you want to do it, that's your business. If you want to do it, I don't want to go in there against Undertaker.
Well, wait a minute. You have enjoyed it.
My insurance policy ain't worth that much to go in there against Undertaker. And I don't think it's funny. And I know Cornette, wherever you at, you fat dog, you got a whole lot to do with this. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell Jim Cornette. And Mustafa want to go? That's his business. D-Lo, hey, Jack, if I get to show up in there that night, partner, you better believe I'm going to wear a pair of sneakers because, Undertaker, you ain't putting your hands on me.
You're going to have to show up, Jack. You have a contractual agreement to appear in that match. The three of you guys are going to have to be there.
The whole deal is about this flag. Somehow, somewhere, that night, I'll show up. We gonna beat them. they gonna salute our flag. Jim Cornette, one day I'm gonna get my hands around your neck again, boy. And you better believe I'm gonna choke the life out of you. You've been running roughshod over everybody for so many years now. We know somebody who you had driving your car, washing your car, shining your shoes, massaging your big fat wife at night when she couldn't go to sleep. Well, now, he might not be as big as the Undertaker. He might not even be as bad as the Undertaker. But just like I told you, we got a whole lot of us, partner, that you ain't seen yet. And he called me, I slept on it, and now we got somebody. Cornette, your day's numbered.
You got a mystery partner?
We got one. And he bigger than Mustafa. He almost big as Undertaker. From Hell's Kitchen, Killer Kyle.
Killer Kyle.
Killer Kyle.
He'll be your third man. So Killer Kyle will be in your corner.
That's right.
At Bluegrass Ball.
Right.
Is that correct?
Him and about 10 more, baby.
And you feel that this is the man that's going to handle the Undertaker.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have anything to say about that? You know, we're talking about a man with probably the highest threshold of pain.
Jim Cornette. I'm back. You got all these people thinking you from Kentucky. It ain't so. You from Alabama or Mississippi or somewhere with your bigot racist ways. You and that old man Bob Armstrong. I knew you was behind it, gonna bust up the union. Put me out of a job. Not one time did you call to say, Killer, how you doing? Hell no. Salute the flag. I'm back. I got a new attitude and some new friends, and I'm coming for you.
It took 3 years to finally hear Kyle talk. Doc, what do you have from this? Doc?
Hey, stop trying to mute me, dude. I kind of understand now why he doesn't talk. But, you know, let's get back to New Jack for a second. Man, he's showing fear here. It's the first time, so we're seeing something new, a new dimension from New Jack. And how do you kill somebody who's already dead? That's a great question, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, what do you do with it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a legit question. It's for damn
yeah.
sure.
So then, am I the only one that thought maybe instead of Killer Kyle, it might be Rocky King? That would have been awesome.
I had no clue. I didn't know the first time I saw it. I didn't know what they were going to do.
I had completely forgotten this. So I'm good with it, man. I think it's a good use of Kyle. You know, we've talked forever about, you know, he's one of those guys that's real capable and real good at what he does. So I'm real good with this. Man, go to 2650.
Come on.
Our cameraman is up to dirty tricks again, pal.
Let's see. Okay, I'm not seeing nothing, Doc. I went right to 2650. You talking about this guy?
Yes. Look at that guy.
He
ain't liking this a bit. This is not wrestling the way it used to be, and this ain't what I signed up for.
Got the stars and bars on his shirt, and he's got the stars and bars flag, and I can tell you right now, if he had one of those thought bubbles above his head, he was like, man, these sons of bitches, they need to get up on out of here. This ain't my kind. I don't like this. I mean, dude, look at his face. He is angry.
Right. I caught that and popped on it, man. That he ain't even as deep into that as you just said. Look, this is exactly what he's thinking. Man, his thoughts start and end with, man, screw these ends.
He's angry. Look at that,
They're
dude.
ruining my wrestling. That's what he's thinking.
And Bubba next to him.
He's just
Ain't
like,
too
man,
happy either, but
my buzz is, that guy to the left of him is saying my buzz is starting to wear off.
all right, man. Any other thoughts on the gangsters right there, Doc?
Well, this is to me once again a nice advancement of the story, because this is something we have not seen from them. So we're starting to get other new things that we have not previously seen, and that's a good thing in wrestling. So I'm all on board with all of this.
Boy, Killer Kyle is country, is he not?
We'll forget that.
I mean, you hear that? I'm talking about the accent.
Yeah, we'll forget about that.
Bobby Blaze's best friend.
For purposes of the exercise here, we'll forget about that.
All right. So, again, we got a lot cooking here. We got the gangsters versus, Cornette and Cornette's guys and The Undertaker going on. We got Bobby Blaze and Buddy Landell. I mean, we've had nothing but meaningful promos up until this point. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want to hear from Boo Bradley? Because he's a mess.
Yeah, he just talks about cans of peas and doesn't really say anything. So I would actually say no to that.
Okay. He says, so Boo comes out and cuts a promo, and he says something about he traded some peas, a piece of cake, and banged Brian Logan's head against the wall. And Boo is now going to wrestle for the TV title, is what he says.
Yeah.
As he's out there with his teddy bear and picking in his nose and other things.
Yep.
Very strange. Anyway, we go from that to Larry Santo and Kenny Arden versus Unabomb and Al Perez. Al Perez and Unabomb win the match.
Al Perez.
Al Perez. Jesus Christ.
Al Snow.
Jeez.
And Larry Santo, because we just did Al Perez last night, or
Yes.
the night before. Larry Santo has been away for a while. My notes on this is that the entrance music changed from Kiss over to Faster Pussycat, and the rest of it is meh.
Good point. So then we got Boo Bradley versus Killer Kyle for the vacant TV title. Now,
I need you, real quick, before we get started, I need you to go to 3504. And that. What is that?
Not only that, but we got a couple of things. We got New Jack on commentary that I need to play. It's a small clip, and then we got to see, because he explains why he says Billy Black is gone, and then what you just said. So here it is.
Wait a minute. This is not Billy Black. What do you need, New Jack?
Boo Bradley, unfortunately for you, Billy Black was taking a shower. He got out of the shower and slipped and fell in his own tobacco spit. So since he can't be here, guess what? Killer Kyle gonna beat your brains out. You get ready to get the beating of your life, boy.
So that's how they explain Billy Black, not at the tape.
Got to do something.
Hey, I mean, look, these people saw it on TV, and now you got to explain what's going on, and this is the poor woman that Doc's making fun of while Jack was on commentary. Can I hit play?
I'm not making fun of as much as just, I just don't know. That is a human right there that has been through a lot. You can just tell. And she's just found the grace to be able to smile in spite of it. That's all I'm trying to say.
At least she's got teeth. I don't know if it's false teeth.
Whoa! What is that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying.
Oh.
Anyway, okay. So we got Boo versus Killer Kyle for the vacant TV title. Doc, any thoughts from this? They go for a while. They have a long match.
They go for a while. Both guys wearing black kind of threw me a little bit. We get a no decision, to be honest. But both of these guys are good workers, and they could put on a good match. I didn't have anything specifically from it, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. And that's really all I had.
Yeah. So they go for a while. My notes, New Jack gets involved, and then the Gangsters put the boots to Boo Bradley. I thought the referee called actually for a DQ, but remember, you can't win a title on a DQ. But Boo went. So technically, I guess Boo would have won, but it's no contest. They're going to do a rematch for it at another point. But Smothers and Rock and Roll come out to make the save too. Gangsters powder out the ring, and JR does say before we cut the commercial that the TV title is still vacant. So there you have it. No other thoughts on it?
Not really. I mean, I guess we're going to have to figure out who the champ is next week, but that's okay.
So then they have a promo at the very end of the episode. It's the Rock and Roll Express. I thought it was pretty meat and potatoes. They talk about their elimination tag match versus Snow and Unabomb. And then we also see a graphic at the end where Bobby Blaze will battle Budrow next week. And it kind of ends
just they wander off. But that's all right. I'm good.
Yeah, there was a lot. I'm not mad the way the show ended. It didn't end with a bang.
Here's the thing though. I didn't agree with UWF back in the day going off every week with Ross going, it's breaking down, we got to go. It's good to do that, but it's not good to do everything every week. So sometimes you just finish your show.
Well, the problem with the way they did that, and I'll say every week, where I'm kind of exaggerating when we say they did that every week, but the problem with doing that as often as they did it, a lot of times they never came back at the beginning of the next episode to tell you what the hell actually went down.
Right.
Like they showed a shit hitting the fan, and that was it. It was like, and you never really got the outcome of it all. So there it is. All right, Doc. So that leaves us to our disability checks and government cheese. Before we do the disability checks, become a patron at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. It is a great way to support this show on an ongoing basis. You get a lot of extra content, the video reviews, the JCP Clash of Champions and pay-per-views. You get the world-class shows with myself and at SMU Heavyweight.
Lance
is my boy. I'm just having fun with Lance. He knows it. Lance has been enjoying all the extra Twitter messages he gets, and he's like, hey, I got a message about this. What the hell's going on? But no, seriously, become a patron. It's tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. The funny part is, Lance actually, when he gets Twitter questions, he addresses them. And he and I sometimes do a small show on Twitter questions. So there you go. Good stuff anyway, all the way around. So again, patron, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Get access to 200 plus Patreon exclusive episodes. Doc, how many disability checks are you giving this one?
I think this was a really, really strong episode. Huge news, huge announcements, things that were entertaining. Last week I gave it an 8.4. I see no reason to change from that. I'm going to give it an 8.4 again.
And on my grade scale, I'm going to give it an A. There you have it. Government cheese. I got to give mine to Budrow, man. I know you're going to say, wait, The Undertaker's here. But here's the thing. Buddy cut a scathing promo on Bobby. And I'm not trying to take anything from The Undertaker or Paul Bearer. The announcement itself was big news. Huge news for the promotion. But Buddy's promo on Bobby was fucking fantastic. About the $500, go find the father of your wife's kid. That was incredible stuff. So I'm giving mine to Budrow. I know I'd shock you on that one. Who are you giving yours to, Doc? The Undertaker?
Yeah, I'm going with The Undertaker, man. That's just too big not to throw the cheese the way. I mean, Buddy was great, man. Don't get me wrong. New Jack was great. People are great. People are you usually don't get an 8.4 or up into an A without multiple people doing worthy things. But to me, The Undertaker's just a huge moment, so I'm going to go with The Undertaker. But Buddy was fantastic. I could see it. I mean, hey man, it's your welfare gift to hand out to whoever you see fit. So
that's funny. All right. So before we get out of here, I want to mention a couple of friends of mine. I forgot to mention last week, but shout out to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with my buddy Mike Crockett and Ring of Honor's Brian Malonis, who will be going, by the time this airs, maybe they will be the ROH Tag Champs, but they'll be, the Bouncers are going to be fighting for the ROH Tag title soon, and I want to give them a shout out to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing and the podcast that Malonis and Crockett do each and every week. That drops on Monday. They talk classic, they talk current stuff, they even talk some indie stuff, but it's an all-around great show, so check it out. They support us, so please support them. And then also shout out to Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata, Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT, slightly classier, a little bit more professional, but still fun nonetheless. Give them a listen. Check them out. Again, they support us, so please support them. Doc, I don't have anything else.
I have one little thing I'd like to bring up here.
Sure thing, pal.
Well, we're recording this on the 20th of September, correct?
The 20th of September. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's a couple of week lag before this will come out. Is that also correct?
You are correct, sir.
Okay. So by that math, this will be coming out in pretty early October. And when we get to early October and you're listening to this, yeah, we can make our jokes about pumpkin spice and bitches in their yoga pants and the sundresses go away and all that other stuff. But I want to be serious for a second. Because if you're smart out there and it's early October, you're starting to get that Christmas shopping done. And if you can't be a patron, we understand that. But what you can do, because you're going to do Christmas shopping, you can help out the show when you go to Amazon to get little Johnny or Janie their crap that they need for Christmas. And I ain't saying nothing bad to you. Mike and I are going to be doing the same thing. But you can't, I'm telling you, you can't just tell your broad, go there and do it. I'm telling you from experience, they're going to wander off and not do it. So if you really want to help the show this Christmas time, this end of the year, and help us, keep this thing going, then make sure that you do use that Amazon link for Christmas so that Mike and I can have a Merry Christmas too.
You kind of nailed it. You said it, I think, on the NWA show maybe a couple weeks back. You're like, you actually have to do it for them because these broads ain't going to do it, right? So you can explain that process too?
That's just another step in me getting my stuff that I want and getting to shop. I don't understand why I have to do this. Y'all don't get that much money from it. But just can you humor me? Can you please do it? And I'm thinking if I'm an Army member and you get that sucking of the teeth and
fuck yeah.
You just say, look, these boys over here are one of the reasons that I don't do the Von Erich thing every week. So just help me out a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I can tell you, I mean, JR used to have the Amazon link, and all these big shows, they have these Amazon links. And I'm sure they bring in, because they're huge, I'm sure they bring in a lot of cash from theirs. But let me explain. Let me break it down economically for everyone. To do this show not only costs a lot of time, which time is money. Doc knows that, right, Doc?
Oh, absolutely. Time is the most valuable resource in the world.
But actually, we have to pay the server to host these shows. So that's a monthly payment that I have to make to them. Now, Amazon doesn't bring in a lot, but it helps with that. Like,
well, let me say this. Let me shoot straight. Let me shoot real straight for you, because I hate getting sold shit. I hate sales pitches. So this ain't even a sales pitch. This is just, here's something you can do to help the show, and we love all you guys. And so if you want to know how you can help, this is how. But we've been doing this for what, 4.5 years? Or 3.5?
Yeah, we're 4.5 at this point. And we never miss a show. We're never late. Sometimes we're fucking early. That's the terrible part.
I get that. Yeah, that's a problem too. I have never, for a shoot, made 1 penny from this show. So I'm not saying this so that I can make money off of you, or that I can get quote unquote rich. I've never received 1 cent from doing this show. So it's not why we do it, but to Mike's point, it helps for hosting, it helps for equipment, it helps to get this show up and running. So when you do these things, you are directly making this show happen. And that's why we're asking you to do it, not so that we can get our rocks off and get some vacation money, because that just doesn't happen. So anyway, I hate sales pitches. I hate people selling shit to me. So there's an easy way that you don't have to do anything extra except get that Amazon link going. And Mike says it every week. It's a great way to support the show. This is the time of year where if you're not a big spender, you're not a big shopper, you're still going to be doing it. So I just want to remind everybody. Now we can get back to making fun of broads and their pumpkin spice and their gaping pussies and whatever else we're going to talk about. Wait, what?
Well, look, I'm with you. You said something, and I know this isn't going to come out till mid October, but to something you said a couple weeks ago on the NWA show, I would drink a pumpkin spice anything right now for some regular highs in the upper 60s, maybe 70, and lows in the 40s.
Bro, I would do a pumpkin spice enema.
I sure would.
And then
I hate pumpkin spice.
And I would just shit out orange for a month if I could just end summer right now. So anyway, that's enough of our bullshit. We got to go on and try to live a productive life, because you know what? we're going to hop right back on the channel tonight and do the Clash of Champions. So we recorded 2 at Smoky Mountains this morning. We're going to do Clash of Champions tonight. I think it's just about being blessed and being a blessing. So do you have anything else, or can I go ahead and hit that tagline?
No, we're going to do Clash of Champions 2 tonight, which took place June 8th, 1988, and that would have probably dropped by this point. But yeah, no, go ahead and hit the tagline and get us the hell on out of here.
Hell yeah, let's book it, bitch.
Before we get out of here, I want to shout out a couple of people, friends of the show. Also want to shout out some Patreon members and thank them for their patronage. Before I do all that, like I said, a couple of friends of the show and podcasts that we hope you support. Check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with Brian Malonis from ROH and Mike Crockett. They do their show every single Monday. Monday mornings the shows drop. They talk current and classic wrestling, along with some indie stuff too, but it's a good show. They're friends of mine, so please support them because they support us. Also, check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast, run by buddies of mine, Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, as they give their take on the northern side of pro wrestling's history. Slightly classier, definitely more professional than we are. Thank you, Joe and Quinn, for all of your plugs. We appreciate it. Also, check out the Bottom Line Cast with Mike Prue and JV. They do their show. I believe their shows are dropping on Wednesdays these days. I keep forgetting, but they're basically breaking down the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So check out Mike and JV as they do their thing. Great show. And also Mike and JV do the ECW Extreme Live Cast on our Patreon feed at the $5 level. So good guys doing some good work, and I appreciate it, Mike and JV. Thank you for all of your support. And like I said, I want to thank all the Patreon members out there for their support and patronage. We really appreciate it. We do 2 shows a week that are free. And then in addition to that, we do more because of you guys, and we appreciate that. So thanks for supporting this show. It's definitely a great thing that you do for us and supporting us. I mean, I can't say it enough. I'm eternally grateful for all the patrons we have. And as I'm talking about being eternally grateful, shout out to the Hall of Fame patrons. Kevin Carter, Michael Angel, Bob Richards, Rocky Suazo, Christopher Champer, Will Harkey, Robbie Dyson, Rick Beebe, Brad Dunifin, Tom Schlegel, Coach Joey Chase, a.k.a. Willie Chase, Steve Malbasa, LaRon Brown, Kenny Beiersdorf, Glenn Abbott, at GA WrestleNut on Twitter, Bobby Murray, Marlon Mueller, a.k.a. at Half Pints Point. Keep cutting them promos, kid. I know you would love when I say that. Josh Warren, Everett Starr, Mike Childrey, Kyle Riley, Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Craig Norman, Johnny on Patreon, the great John Dean at YRC21, Josh Dunn, Ryan in Auburn, at Ryan in Auburn, that is, on Twitter. Good old Justin, Robert Smith, Joseph Ice, Tim Moretti, Adam Price, Brian Evans, Mark Wilson, Armando Martinez, David Jordan, Jesse Jacobs, Josh Fields, Chris Myers, Gerald Green, Mitchell Johnson, Mike Prue, Will Parker, Jeremy Bryant, Classy Alex, David DeVries, Frog Zeppelin, SV Pageant, Bill Salsa, Big Rich, at Spy Boy Sports Cap, R.E. Miller 39, Jay Shiny, Ruben Espinoza, Merciless Jones, Jesse Lucas, Chris Browning, Justin Andretti, Coleman 822, Marty Howell, T-Hog 94, God Bold Unreal. Thanks for being Hall of Fame patrons. That list is getting longer and longer, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your patronage, and thank you for being Hall of Fame patrons and supporting this show and everything we do. That's all I got. Thank you again, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day and week and whenever, or month, or whenever you're listening to this. Thank you very much. And like Harper always says before we get out of here, book it, bitch.